Hello there and welcome to another episode of Behind the Data with me, Alastair Hope, where I'll be taking you through some of the things that have been moving the gas and power markets over the course of the last month. So to start off with, we'll look at gas, and as you can see from the chart, we've seen some really bullish moves up of around about 44% for that front month contract. Reasons for this is we've had that cold weather that was starting to show in the forecast be verified, had that little bit of snow, that's really sort of increased the demand on near-term contracts, and that has meant that most of Europe now has switched heavily into withdrawal modes from the storages which were already low going into the winter. Also, we haven't seen the same sort of flow coming in from Russia as we have in previous years. I may have talked about this in previous videos, and although there has been a small increase in the amount of Russian exports into Europe, it just hasn't been enough to really sort of dent or help with the storage situation. So onto power, and as you can see on the chart here, once again pretty bullish moves up there on that front month contract, around about 56%. Power is always going to be supported by bullish gas prices, so there's obviously been some bullish sentiment there, but there's been other issues as well in terms of supply margins, where we're having to turn on more coal and more traditional generation to be able to meet demand through those peak times. And then further afield, French nuclear availability is starting to be sort of talked about again, and with a number of nuclear reactors offline for maintenance, the French are not exporting the same amount of power to surrounding countries as they normally do through those peak times. All this has been really leading into a pretty bullish scenario, and although we started to see some downwards movement at the end of October, the prices have rebounded pretty strongly through November from that. Another factor that's been driving the power market is the carbon price, and as you can see on this chart, around about a 28% increase over the course of the last month, and more than doubled since the start of the year. The cost of emitting carbon just continues to increase, and that has really been feeding into the power market as well, especially on the further dated products. And finally, moving on to oil, you can see at the chart there's been some pretty heavy losses, around about 16%. Reasons for this is that the Omicron variant, which was found in South Africa, started to spook the market, with potential for more travel bans, more restrictions coming into countries around the world. That tends to have a suppressive effect on oil demand, and hence triggering a significant sell-off through those last few days of trading in the month. So to sum up, very interesting to see how oil prices have lost so much value, but that hasn't really weighed on the European gas and power markets at all. I think for businesses there's obviously still a lot of concern about when to buy and when to lock in. Risk is still very much on for the Q1 period, and maybe moving into the summer, all depending on how the weather out turns and how storages are once we get through the coldest parts of the year. In terms of what we can do for you, very much recommend getting in touch with your account manager and seeing what strategies we can put in place. I hope you found this market update informative and useful, and look forward to talking to you again next time. Thanks.